leaders, I just want to give you a few short, quick tips on how to really ground a healthy group. Now, when you're leading the group, we all have the tendency as leaders, right? Maybe you really are a leader. You have that strong personality where you can bring people together and teach them. The tendency is to turn your role into the teacher and not the facilitator. But the goal of community groups is for people to actually live life together and share their lives more than it is to just plow through discussion questions. So what we need to do is, as a leader, take off the teacher hat and let the facilitator really come out and invite people into the conversation. So how do you do that? Well, if the conversation has a pause, number one, it's okay for quiet moments especially if you have a pretty deep introspective question. Some people are external processors, like my wife. She'll go totally silent for like a minute and then she'll give you a stunning answer. But if people don't allow that room to kind of be silent and kind of hang in that, then people who are internal processors won't ever have the opportunity to process and really share. Another way is if it's silent because no one wants to take that first step, everyone feels awkward sharing, right? What you do is if you know people's names, say their name. Well, now what do you think of that? The greatest tool in a small group leader's toolbox is to say, after someone finishes talking, you look at someone else and go, what do you think of that? Right? Immediately it keeps the conversation going, it stays a little bit more on topic, it allows for a much more free flow of information. There's this wonderful book called A Sense to Belong. I have a review of it on my website, layevangelist.com. And in this book, he uses 4 architectural terms to kind of lay out this sense of belonging, or the way we relate to one another in community. So the first is public relationship, right? A public belonging. Public belonging is too vague, it's too general. It's like the way you belong to someone when you're watching a professional sports game, right? You're shoulder to shoulder, you're in rows, you're cheering. You do have a belonging to other fans, but it's too shallow, right? How awkward would it be if you're high-fiving the guy next to you because your team just scored a touchdown, and then you look at him and said, so how are things with your wife? Right, in the middle of a game. That's awkward because it's out of place. The same is true in community groups when we keep something either A, too vague or too general, or B, we take it way too intimate. So he uses these architectural terms of like an arena as being a public space, kind of like an office party, right? You have about 200 people. There's a bunch of people there for a social space, right? You don't know everyone really intimately, but you can have a little bit deeper level of conversation. The next step is personal space. Think of this as like your kitchen table. And the final thing is an intimate space. Think of that like your bedroom. You're not gonna let everyone into your bedroom, right? And so the community groups, you don't want to go to that intimate level, but you also don't want to stay vague. You want to be in the social or personal level. And this is because if you go too intimate, you will push people away. You're not best friends. Realizing that about your group, you're not trying to go to that intimate level. But at the same time, letting people give you surfacey answers that don't really connect, that's also what. So you want to be able, as a leader, to pull out a little bit more from people who are on the surface. And why don't you explain a little bit more of what that means, right? Follow-up questions can help break through the generalized vagueness, and also diverting and going to someone else can help shut down oversharers. And I tell this to people the beginnings of every one of my small groups. Listen, we got the public, we got the intimate, we don't want either of those. We want it social or personal. In the beginning, you'll spend more in the social sphere, but as groups progress, you should go into the more personal sharing of your life. Hopefully, this can help you structure a good community group experience for everyone. Not everyone will have the same experience. That's not your fault. People are just different, right? But what we can do together is help make sure that groups progress well, that people are showing up, they're joining in, and they feel like they're being real and other people are being real with them. If we can keep that going, your group will be a success. Okay? So don't overstress thinking you're the one who converts. That's the Holy Spirit's job. You know, you get to lay off that, okay? So you can do this. These LinkedIn groups can actually make a difference in just 5 short weeks. We are thankful that you said yes to this task, so God bless.